Her parents told the fiancé she's faked a terminal illness right before surgery and somehow the hospital records back them up. That's not confusion. So, who changed what and why?
She's lying. She always has. My dad said it like a fact, calm, final, while my fiancé stood right there. We're in a hospital waiting room. My daughter is upstairs, prepped for surgery in less than 2 days. I'm holding her medical file in my lap, and somehow, I'm the one on trial. My mom leans closer to Daniel, lowering her voice like she's protecting him. Don't marry her. She made the whole illness up. She's done this before. I don't speak. Not because I can't, but because I know exactly what they're doing. Daniel looks at me, searching for something, anything, to contradict them. Is that true? He asks. My dad pulls out papers, bank statements, old records. She's manipulated doctors before. You think this is real? The room feels smaller. Eyes are starting to turn. Then, a voice cuts through it. Are you Lily Carter's mother? I turn. A surgeon is standing there, holding a tablet, already unlocked, and he's not looking at me. He's looking at them. Dr. Alvarez's gaze stays fixed on my parents, like he's already heard enough to know something doesn't add up. I push myself to stand, clutching Lily's file tighter than I realize. Yes, I'm her mother, I say, my voice steady, but just barely. He nods once, then lifts the tablet slightly. I was looking for you. We need to confirm a few details before we proceed. Before I can respond, my dad steps forward like he's been waiting for permission. Perfect timing, he says, because there's something you should know about her. My stomach drops. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Dr. Alvarez doesn't react right away. He just watches him, calm, neutral. What kind of information? He asks. My mom answers this time, her tone soft, controlled, like she's the reasonable one in the room. Our daughter has a history of fabricating medical conditions. We're concerned this might be another episode. There it is, said clean, clinical, easy to believe if you don't know us. A nurse walking past slows down. Someone across the room pretends not to listen. Daniel doesn't move, but I can feel the shift in him, the hesitation settling in. That's not, I start, but my dad cuts me off. She's done it before, he says, firmer now. Doctors, tests, even symptoms. It gets elaborate. He taps the stack of papers in his hand like it's evidence in a courtroom. I look at Daniel. His jaw tightens, eyes flicking between me and them, trying to reconcile two completely different versions of the same person. Why didn't you tell me any of this? He asks quietly. Because it's not true. Because every time I tried to explain my parents, it sounded exactly like what they're saying now, like I was the one twisting things. But none of that comes out fast enough. Instead, I say, they're lying. It sounds thin compared to how certain they sound. My mom exhales like she expected that. Of course she'd say that. Dr. Alvarez finally shifts his attention, just slightly, toward me. Ma'am, he says, measured, your daughter is scheduled for a complex procedure. I need clarity before we move forward. Clarity. Like this is still up for debate. I hold up the folder in my hands. Everything is in here. Her scans, her diagnosis, all of it. My dad lets out a short, humorless laugh. Anyone can put a file together. The words hit harder than I expect. For a second, I feel it, that flicker of doubt they've spent years planting, the way they make reality feel negotiable. Then Daniel speaks again, slower this time. Is there anything official? From the hospital? That's when Dr. Alvarez turns the tablet toward us. The screen lights up with medical records, names, dates, imaging thumbnails. He looks between all of us once more and says, "Let's verify that right now." And then he starts scrolling. Let's verify that right now. The words land heavier than anything my parents said. Dr. Alvarez angles the tablet so we can all see it. I step closer instinctively. Daniel follows, but not quite next to me anymore. There's space now, just enough to feel it. My dad doesn't hesitate. Good, he says, because we've been trying to get someone to actually look at this." "Look at what?" Dr. Alvarez scrolls through Lily's chart, her name, her date of birth, the hospital ID. Everything is exactly where it should be, familiar, real. "When did her symptoms begin?" he asks, still focused on the screen. "About 4 months ago," I answer immediately. "Headaches first, then nausea, balance issues." "That's not what we were told," my mom cuts in smoothly. Dr. Alvarez glances up. "And what were you told?" My dad steps forward again. "That this all started recently, a few weeks maybe. Sudden escalation. That's usually how she does it." A few people nearby are definitely listening now. I can feel it without turning. "That's not true," I say, sharper this time. "You weren't even here 4 months ago." My mom tilts her head slightly, like she's dealing with someone difficult. "We spoke to people who were." "People?" Daniel shifts beside me. "Who?" he asks. Neither of them answers directly. Instead, my dad gestures toward the tablet. "Check the initial intake," he tells Dr. Alvarez. "See if it even lines up." There's something off about how confident he is. Not hopeful, certain. Dr. Alvarez scrolls further back. Intake forms, early notes, dates. He pauses, just for a second. But I see it. That tiny hesitation. Daniel sees it too. "What is it?" he asks. Dr. Alvarez doesn't answer immediately. He taps the screen once, then zooms in on a section I can't fully read from where I'm standing. My chest tightens, because whatever he's looking at, it's not what I remember. He looks up slowly, eyes moving between me and my parents, and then he says, "These records don't match what I expected to see." "They don't match?" Daniel says it before I can. Dr. Alvarez turns the tablet fully toward us this time. No hesitation, no shielding. The screen is bright enough that even someone a few feet away could see it if they tried. "These are the intake notes from her first visit," he explains. "Documented symptoms, reported duration, progression." I lean in. My eyes go straight to the timeline. 2 weeks. It says Lily's symptoms started 2 weeks ago. My stomach drops. "No," I whisper. "That's wrong." My dad lets out a breath like he's been waiting for that exact moment. "Thank you," he says, almost under his breath. "Finally." "That's not what I told them," I say, louder now. "I said 4 months. It's been 4 months. There were headaches. She was falling. I brought her in twice before that." My mom shakes her head gently, almost sympathetic. "This is exactly what we were afraid of," she says to Dr. Alvarez. "Inconsistent reporting." "Inconsistent?" I repeat, heat rising in my chest. "You weren't even there." Daniel runs a hand through his hair, pacing half a step away. "Why would the hospital write 2 weeks if you said 4 months?" he asks me, not accusing, but not defending me either. "I don't know," I say. "Something's off." Dr. Alvarez is still staring at the screen. Not confused, focused. He taps into another section. Imaging logs, scan dates. "There were multiple visits," he murmurs, "but the intake summary only reflects 1. That doesn't make sense." "That's what I'm saying," I push. "It's incomplete. These systems don't just lose data," my dad cuts in. "They record what's entered." The implication hangs there. Dr. Alvarez zooms in again, this time on something smaller. Metadata, user details, information most people wouldn't even notice. His expression shifts, subtle but real. "Who else had access to her patient portal?" he asks. I blink. "What?" "Login credentials. Who else could view or manage her records?" I hesitate, just for a second, and in that second, my mom answers. "We did," she says. Everything in me goes still. Dr. Alvarez's eyes don't leave the screen as he asks the next question. "Did either of you make changes to her records?" My dad opens his mouth, but Dr. Alvarez lifts a hand, stopping him, because he's already found something. And when he finally looks up, his voice is quieter. Because according to this, he turns the tablet slightly back toward himself. These records weren't just incomplete. A beat. They were edited. Edited? The word cuts through everything. Daniel turns sharply toward my parents. What does that mean? Dr. Alvarez doesn't answer him right away. He's scrolling again, slower this time, deliberate, pulling up a detailed log most patients probably never even know exists. Every change made to a patient file is tracked, he says. Time, date, and user credentials. My pulse starts to pound in my ears. He taps the screen and angles it just enough for us to see a line of entries. Same account, multiple timestamps, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, each one marked as an edit. That's when you came over, I say, my voice low, almost to myself. You said you wanted to help organize everything. My mom's expression doesn't crack. We did help, she replies evenly. Dr. Alvarez zooms in on one specific entry. Symptom duration changed, he reads, from 4 months to 2 weeks.
The records say 2 weeks. Why do her parents seem so prepared for that exact number? And why isn't the surgeon convinced?
Daniel exhales sharply. Why would anyone do that? No one answers. Another tap. Previous visit history, removed. My chest tightens. Another. Physician notes, flagged for inconsistency. Now people are openly staring. A nurse has stopped pretending not to listen. I look at my dad. You had my login. We were trying to correct errors, he says quickly. Too quickly. By deleting them? I snap. Dr. Alvarez finally lifts his eyes, locking onto my parents. Altering medical records, especially in a case like this, can directly impact treatment decisions. Silence drops again, heavier than before. Daniel takes a step back from them now. Not uncertain anymore, distancing. I feel something shift. Not relief, not yet, but the ground isn't tilting under me anymore. Dr. Alvarez locks the tablet and straightens slightly. I need to confirm something before we proceed with surgery, he says. My breath catches. He looks directly at my parents. No neutrality left this time. Why does this system show an attempt to downgrade the severity of her diagnosis? No one speaks. No one answers him, because there isn't an answer that works anymore. Dr. Alvarez doesn't press. He doesn't need to. He unlocks the tablet again and scrolls with quiet precision, pulling up a deeper audit log, something far beyond surface notes and summaries. This system logs every access point, he says. IP address, device type, authentication method. He turns the screen toward us one final time. Multiple logins, same user credentials. Mine. But the device IDs don't match my phone or my laptop. My dad's expression hardens. My mom crosses her arms like she's already preparing a new version of the story. You had her login? Daniel asks, looking directly at them now. My mom exhales. She gave it to us. We were trying to help. Help? I repeat, my voice sharper than it's been this entire time. By rewriting her medical history? Dr. Alvarez doesn't raise his voice, but it cuts through everything. By altering these records, you created inconsistencies that could have delayed surgical approval. In a case like this, timing is critical. He taps the screen again, this time pulling up the scan. Lily's scan. The tumor is there, clear, defined, measured across multiple dates, dates that were nearly erased from her file. This diagnosis is not fabricated, he says plainly. It is aggressive, and the surgery is necessary. There's no room left to argue, no gray area to hide in. Daniel steps away from my parents, completely now, and comes to stand beside me, not hesitating this time. I'm sorry, he says quietly. I should have seen it. I don't answer right away. I'm still looking at them, waiting. But they don't apologize. My dad shakes his head. We were trying to protect her, he insists. She's not stable. She needed intervention. You tried to create it, I cut in. That lands. A hospital administrator arrives within minutes, called quietly by one of the nurses who heard enough to understand what was happening. Dr. Alvarez explains in clinical, precise terms: unauthorized access, alteration of medical records, interference with active treatment. My parents are asked to leave. Not loudly, not dramatically, but firmly. My mom tries one last time as they're escorted out. "You're making a mistake," she says to Daniel. He doesn't respond. He doesn't even look at her. The doors close behind them, and just like that, the pressure they brought into the room disappears. But the aftermath doesn't. I file a formal report that same day, not out of anger, but because what they did could have cost my daughter her surgery. An internal investigation begins. Legal consequences follow: fraud, medical interference, unauthorized system access. They don't contact me again, and this time, I don't wait for them to. 2 days later, I'm back in that same waiting room, same chair, same cold lighting. But everything feels different. Daniel sits beside me, closer than before. No distance left. Neither of us speaks much. There's nothing to question now. Hours pass. Then finally, the doors open. Dr. Alvarez steps out, removing his cap. "The surgery was successful," he says. "It doesn't hit all at once. It settles in slowly, deep, certain." I nod, exhaling something I didn't realize I'd been holding for days. Daniel reaches for my hand. This time, I don't hesitate. Upstairs, my daughter is alive, safe, and for the first time in years, no one is rewriting our reality anymore.
If medical records can be quietly altered by someone close to you, how many cases out there look legitimate on the surface, but were actually steered by someone behind the scenes?